Welcome to the May 19th, 2017 edition of Colorado Inside Postgame, a special web-exclusive production here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on how local lawmakers, our congressional delegation, is needed to respond, or in some cases not responding, to the variety of President Trump's updates this week. Patty Cahoon from Westward, we heard I think probably some predictable reactions from our Democratic members of our delegation. But when we see Mike Coffman come out and actually go ahead and back up the idea of a special prosecutor, and then I'm not sure I'd call it mysterious silence, but curious silence from other GOP lawmakers, and that's not uncommon. I think we've seen that across the board. From what they've had to face with, what do you think, what would be your strategy recommendations to at least our GOP side of the coin when it comes to our congressional delegation in the face of a fire hose of issues that we're seeing from D.C.?
Well, they played it safe, and then they were lucky on that gamble because there is going to be a special counsel, so they can wait a little bit and see how that goes. I thought Kaufman, and we're talking Mike Kaufman this time, not Cynthia Kaufman, showed some smarts in coming out early and saying there should be a special prosecutor. No surprise that the Democrats were all over that too. But it's amazing just the shades of Watergate that are coming up, which none of you are really old enough to remember, but how Watergate, just remembering how journalism is getting a comeback the way it did after Watergate, really realizing that you have to look into everyone, follow the money, and it goes sometimes to the highest levels. So that's exciting. We even have Melissa Hart, a CU law professor, is the granddaughter of Archibald Cox, who was fired on the Saturday Night Massacre.
Saturday.
And so in the wake of Comey, it just gets more and more amazing, and there'll be plenty to talk about for ages to come.
Michael Fields from Americans for Prosperity. I could understand some of the trepidation from GOP lawmakers only because stories change so quickly. I've seen President Trump's own staff having to be put in precarious positions of coming out and supporting one position and then getting thrown under the bus 48 hours later. If I was in a GOP lawmaker's shoes, I would want to at least wait to see what the actual story was before I responded. But when you have a situation like Mike Coffman, who's probably facing, while he's done very well in a competitive district, probably going to face the fiercest fight in 2018, did he do the right move in supporting the call for a special prosecutor?
Well, I think it doesn't surprise me at all that he went that route, especially because Trump is not popular in that district. There isn't as big of a risk. I think other GOP lawmakers across the country are kind of looking around saying, is this Watergate really, or is this another one of the 25 times they've come after Trump and it just bounces off because people don't really care? I think one interesting thing is the special counsel, Robert Mueller, is kind of the only person that I've seen that can unite both sides of the party to say, look, this is a serious guy, he'll do a good job. And I think what that does is it allows the government, Congress, to get back to working on the economy, working on health care, and let the special counsel do his job.
Ed Sealer from Denver Business Journal, while not a part of the Colorado's congressional delegation, we even saw Senator Mitch McConnell just being exasperated by saying, we just want to get back to work. We just want to, just the things that Michael mentioned, but that's not always possible in this kind of media environment. Between Kaufman and the other GOP delegation, should we expect to see any more reaction, or are they going to be playing it pretty close to the vest in this kind of an environment?
I don't know that it's even playing it close to the vest. I think some of them are feeling Trump fatigue right now. I mean, I think in Kaufman's case, he's the most high profile of the congressional delegation because of the swing nature of his district at this point. And so he seems to want to respond to everything, and mostly because, you know, his last congressional opponent, Morgan Carroll, is now the head of the Colorado Democratic Party. And if he waits 5 minutes to respond to anything, he's going to get called out by the Colorado Democratic Party. But for example, you know, I'm on everyone's mailing list, and Scott Tipton has been talking repeatedly this week about waters of the U.S. and other things that were really what a rural congressman should be talking about, more so than reactions to the president. I think people are gonna start feeling like, hey, maybe if I do things that are important to my district, that's what's going to matter now more than jumping on or off the Trump bandwagon, which is going to have 4 more twists and turns in the next week that I can jump on or off it for. So I actually almost kind of laud the lawmakers who are not commenting on this, because some of them at least are working on other things that are more pertinent to the day-to-day lives of their constituents.
Mike Ciccone from the Keystone Policy Center rounds out our panel. I think from the outset, it looks like that the Democrats are in the catbird seat here. Boy, there's just chaos and all these different things coming on. But I like to grab one of the terms that Ed brought up, that whole Trump fatigue. And I think that could also happen in the criticism of it. Even folks who might be against it be like, I'm just tired of being against all of it. I'm going to watch some Andy Griffith. So if you're looking at this as a Democratic lawmaker or even an analyst or a strategist, what is the right play here? Is there more patience involved? Or do you pounce on an opportunity when something seems weak?
Well, it's twofold. You feed the red meat to your base and for fundraising purposes, but then you just sit back, let it take its toll. I mean, it's been fascinating watching Republican lawmakers primarily who never envisioned Trump would actually be president. They attacked Hillary Clinton for her server and her other classified information, now having to twist themselves into pretzels to explain why it's suddenly okay that Trump may have disclosed information, for example, to the Russian ambassador to the U.S. and Russia's foreign minister. What was particularly fascinating was Cory Gardner introduced legislation in the last session of Congress that would have stripped Hillary Clinton of her security clearance for what she did with her mail server, and to hear his tortured response this week on why all of a sudden, but it's totally okay that Trump provided this code word information to the Russians. It's been fascinating. I mean, we'll see. I guarantee you we'll see Republicans less and less hesitant to throw Trump under the bus as his approval ratings continue to fall.
That is all the time we have for Colorado Inside Postgame this week. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.